Hi friends. Well, as you know, the government's back open again, and we've got to do something about these people that are getting this thing through on the Obamacare. And like they've been describing it, it's a train wreck just waiting to happen, and it's going to happen. Somehow we've got to get rid of it, and we've got to get rid of all those officials and everything that have been turning around and voting with the Democrats on it, because I mean, it just can't happen. I mean, we can't let it happen is what I'm trying to say. It's getting bad. Obama is getting by with too much and getting everything he wants. And as a lot of my friends have been saying, and I'm in full agreement with, we've got to kick the slats out from under the Illuminati. They're the ones that controls everything. And Obama is one of their people. So I don't know what we're going to do. But somehow we've got to get this all put to a stop. And I'm in hopes that we can possibly even have an uprising revolt. I mean, we got to do something. If we don't, we're going down the river in a big hurry once this thing kicks in, because of the fines and everything they've got associated with it. Besides the fact that all the jobs and everything that were full-time have been cut back to part-time, people can't survive on part-time employment. There's never been anybody that I know of that could survive on a part-time pay, especially for only 29 hours. This is bad. Then you've got the closings, whenever everything was closed down, doing our veterans, especially our World War II veterans, the way they did. I don't know if you've seen the videos or not, but there were some of them even getting punched in the stomach. And that's got to stop. Thank goodness the rest of them stood up and put an end to it, because if they hadn't, I don't know how badly those people might have been hurt. But it's got to stop. And in the confrontation, at least the people ran the cops off this time. They they left because they knew there was no way they were going to stand a chance of being able to do anything, and other than get themselves hurt or worse, because you just don't do 80 and 90-year-old men that way. That's just not right. We can't put up with that. So you know, we're really going to have to get some kind of a thing going, whether it be a revolution or just marching in and arresting the people. Something has got to be done. I mean, it's gone too far now. We've got to stand up and do something, or they're just going to walk right over us like we're nothing. The other thing that I was really disappointed in was all the Republicans that voted with the Democrats on this thing, giving Obama everything that he wanted. And I'm hoping this will work. I'm going to try to get it over where I can read everything to you, because I want you to know the names of those people that were doing this. It started off, the list here was Spencer Baucus, Lou Bartella, Dan Benishek, Gus Barilakis, John Boehner, Charles Boustany, Susan Brooks, Vern Buchanan, Kevin Calvert, Dave Camp, Eric Cantor, Shelley Moore Capito, Howard Coble, Mike Kaufman, Tom Cole, Paul Cook, Tom Cotton, Kevin Kramer, Rick Crawford, Andrew Crenshaw, Steve Daines, Charlie Dent, Mario Diaz-Ballart, I guess it is, Mike Fitzpatrick, Jeff Fortenberry, Rodney Freeland or something like that, Corey Gardner, Jim Gerlach, Chris Gibbon, Tim Griffin, Mike Grimm, Brett Guthrie, Richard Hanna, Greg Harper, Doc Hastings, Joe Heck, Jamie Herrera Baitler, I'm not sure how it's pronounced. And then Daryl Issa, of all people, Lynn Jenkins, David Joyce, Mike Kelly, Peter King, Adam Kissinger, John Klein, Leonard Lance, Tom Lantham, Frank LeBlondo, Kevin McCarthy, Patrick McHenry, Buck McKinnon, or McKeon, I guess it is, David McKinley, Kathy McMorris Rogers, Pat Meehan, Gary Miller, Tim Murphy, Devin Noons, Eric Paulson, Robert Pittenger, Dave Reichart, Reed Ribble, Scott Riggle, Hal Rogers, Mike Rogers, Irina Ross Leitonen, Peter Roscan, John Runyon, Aaron Shook, however it is pronounced, John Skimkus, Bill Schuster, should be Shyster, Mike Simpson, Adam Smith, Chris Smith, Steve Stivers, Lee Terry, Glenn Thompson, Pat Tiberi, Scott Tipton, Fred Upton, David Valandio, David Webster, Ed Whitfield, Rob Whitman, Frank Wolf, Steve Womack, Don Young, and Todd Young. Now those are all of the Republicans that voted with the Democrats to give Obama everything that he wanted. Now, folks, you and I both know that that's not right. We've got to put an end to this stuff. I recommend having a recall election on every one of them. Get them out of there. Let's get this thing straightened out, because we got to do something before it comes around in January again. And if we're not going to do that, then we need to march in and grab those people by the ankles and drag them out of there and arrest them and charge them with treason, because they're certainly violating the Constitution. And they're going against the people. They're aiding the enemy. They voted for aiding the enemy, which is treason. You can't do that. They have given Obama everything he's ever wanted so far. Not once has anything not gone his way. Obama, as you know, is supplying arms to the Syrian rebels, which in reality are Al-Qaeda. Now, Al-Qaeda is supposed to be our sworn enemy, and they are. So that in itself is treason. Whether anything else gets charged against him, that is the number one thing. But we need to do something. And I'm hoping that some of you will get involved with your local militias, and everybody needs to come together, and at least the leaders of each militia group in each state needs to work together and then appoint somebody from each state to meet with the other state commanders so that we can decide what we're going to do. But we've got to do something, and we're the last hope. If you don't do something, then Lord help us, we're going to be done. Another thing is the preachers in these churches are preaching what the government wants. They're not preaching what God wants. They're preaching what the government wants. And the majority of them anyway. There's a few good ones out there that actually believe in standing up for God and standing up for the country. And those are the kind of preachers that we need. I don't know if you're familiar with the history on the Revolution, but there was a group that was called the Black Robe Regiment that was named that by King George. And he thought that they were the ones that were leading the people in the battles, when in fact they were not. They were there to fight just like the rest of the people were, but they were there also to help keep our people morally and spiritually sound, so that we could get through this thing, you know, to win the war against King George and his tyranny. And you can find out a whole lot more about it. I'm not real good at explaining things, but if you go to our website, trueamericans.net, you can learn a whole lot more about the Black Robe Regiment and what they stood for. But I can tell you right now, if it hadn't have been for them, we would not have won the war, because they were able to keep the people in the right frame of mind and keep them in line with God's wishes. Everything went our forefathers' way because we were blessed by God, and that's how our nation got started. If it hadn't have been for that, we would have never been the United States of America. I can tell you for sure. But anyway, there's a whole lot of things that you can learn on our website, and rather than to take up a whole lot of time with a big long movie, I'm going to go ahead and sign off for now. But if you would visit our website, you do have to register. It's not an open site, and you do have the option to remove your account if you don't want to stay. But the site again is trueamericans.net. That's with an S, you know, trueamericans.net. And we'd love to have you for a member. We'd love to have you join our group. And we'd love to get this thing over with so that we don't have to keep going through this and things getting worse all the time. I don't know about you, but I'm tired of losing my rights. And they're taking them every day. They're doing something to keep on whittling until a certain right is gone. And the police have become just downright abusive and murderous, and it's time to put it all to an end and get things back to the Constitution. First and foremost is God, second is country, and we have to stay with that frame of mind in order to be able to get America back in God's blessings. So folks, come see us, trueamericans.net, and we hope you have a good weekend. Thank you now. Bye-bye.